My child, you must pay attention to my words. And this isn't because I'm saying it. It's because time itself is running out. You don't have a whole week, not even a whole day. Because all you have left is just 3 more hours. Yes, my child. Just 3 hours. Nothing more. Nothing less. And what's about to happen after those 3 hours is something both shocking and beyond anything you've ever imagined in your wildest dreams. I know your heart is already racing. I can feel your breath growing shallow. You're wondering, what could possibly happen in just 3 hours? But my child, before I tell you that, you must promise me one thing: don't let fear take over your spirit. Because what's about to happen isn't meant to destroy you. It's meant to wake you up. Listen carefully. These 3 hours are not an accident. They were written long before you were born. And right now, as you hear my voice, heaven itself is watching, counting down, second by second. Yes, the clock of heaven has already begun its final rotation, and your name is glowing brighter than ever before. Why? Because heaven has chosen you. Not for punishment, but for revelation. You, my child, are standing at the edge of something holy, a moment that will separate the old from the new, darkness from light, fear from faith. You see, 3 hours might sound like nothing, just a fragment of a day, but in the language of heaven, 3 hours can rewrite a destiny. And in your case, it's about to do exactly that. Right now, far beyond the clouds, beyond the stars and the galaxies your eyes cannot see, the heavenly gates are trembling with divine movement. Archangel Michael stands beside the crystal river of eternity, his sword of light glowing brighter than ever before. He looks down upon the earth, not at cities or crowds, but directly at you. Because your spirit has been crying for too long. You've carried pain that no one understood. You've smiled through battles that almost broke you. And now, heaven has declared, enough. Yes, my child. Enough. The angels have gathered. The winds have slowed. And even time itself has bent to obey one divine instruction, prepare the child. Because when the final minute of these 3 hours passes, nothing about your life will remain the same. But let's go back, just for a moment. To understand what's coming, you must understand what led to this countdown. 3 hours ago, in the realm beyond light, something sacred began to unfold. The heavens glowed with golden waves. The sound of harps mixed with thunderous hymns of power and peace. Archangel Gabriel held the scroll of messages, a scroll that only opens when a divine transformation is near. Raphael, the healer, stood beside him, his wings spreading light that touched the edges of the universe. And then, a voice broke the silence. It was the voice of God himself, calm, yet filled with infinite power. He said, it is time. The angels bowed. The stars trembled. And Gabriel opened the scroll. On it, there were only a few names, and among them, glowing like fire, was yours. Yes, my child. Heaven spoke your name. In that instant, a surge of divine energy flowed through creation. It reached the oceans, the winds, the roots of mountains, the beating of your heart. That's why today feels strange, why your spirit feels restless, why you sense that something unseen is moving around you, because heaven has set your time for transformation. But transformation always begins with truth. And here's the first truth: these next 3 hours will not take something from you, they will return something that was stolen long ago. You've been walking with invisible chains, haven't you, my child? Chains of fear. Chains of guilt. Chains of memories that haunt you in the quiet of night. And you've prayed for peace, not once, but countless times, asking God, when will it stop? When will I feel free again? And heaven heard you. Archangel Michael heard you. Even when you thought your prayers went unanswered, they were being collected, word by word, in jars of light placed near the throne of God. And now, those jars have been opened. Your prayers are being poured back into your life, not as tears, but as miracles. That is what these 3 hours are for, to close one chapter and open another. My child, listen to me closely. At the end of these 3 hours, something heavy will leave you. You may not see it, but you will feel it. A peace so deep will wash over you that even your breath will change. Your heart will slow down, your mind will quiet, and your soul will whisper, it's done. This is not the end of your life. It's the end of your suffering. But you must stay awake. You must not run away from this message. Because every word you hear now is part of a divine key that unlocks your next season. Right now, as you listen, I want you to imagine the hourglass of heaven. The sand is falling slowly, softly. Each grain represents a tear you've shed, a pain you've carried, a night you couldn't sleep. And when the last grain falls, those tears will no longer be counted as pain, they will be counted as power. Yes, my child. Power. The pain that almost destroyed you will become the force that lifts you. The people who hurt you will become the reason you stand taller. The losses that made you question your worth will become the doors through which your blessings flow. Because when heaven writes your name on the scroll, it doesn't mean loss. It means transition. It means your soul is being prepared for its divine promotion. You were never forgotten. You were being trained. That's why the battles were so intense. That's why the delays were so long. Because when heaven chooses a warrior, it doesn't hand them comfort, it gives them tests that build unshakable faith. You, my beloved child, are that warrior. And Archangel Michael stands with you now. His wings surround you in light. His sword cuts through every curse that's ever been spoken against you. And his voice whispers, no more delay. You are entering your final 3 hours of pain. After that, the dawn begins. So I ask you now, are you ready to see what happens next? Because what's about to unfold in the next few moments will open your eyes to the unseen realm, where your true miracle has already been prepared. Stay with me, my child. Do not skip, do not wander. Because the moment you reach the end of this message, your countdown will begin, not to the end of something, but to your divine beginning. And when that happens, you will finally understand why heaven said, you only have 3 hours left. My child, take a deep breath. Yes, slowly. Because what I'm about to reveal next will not just touch your heart, it will awaken your soul. The 3 hours have already begun ticking. Each second that passes now carries divine meaning. The air around you is shifting, not in fear, but in preparation. You see, when heaven sets a countdown, it's not like the clocks of this world. It doesn't tick to remind you of what you're losing. It ticks to remind you of what you're about to gain. And right now, heaven is counting down not your ending, but your elevation. But before the blessing can come, truth must be revealed. And my child, the truth you're about to hear may shake you for a moment, but hold on to faith, because it will set you free. 3 hours from now, the you that's listening to me will not exist anymore. You will shed layers that have clung to you for years. Fear, guilt, anxiety, all of them will lose their grip. Because the version of you that carried pain for too long is being called back to the light. Let me take you to where this transformation truly begins. It starts not on earth, but above it, in the realm where angels walk and the breath of God moves like wind made of light. As the countdown began, a trumpet sounded through heaven's golden halls. Archangel Michael lifted his sword and pointed it toward the world. The sword glowed with a blue flame, a flame that symbolizes divine justice and protection. Around him, angels gathered, Gabriel with his scroll of words, Raphael with his hands of healing, and Uriel holding a lantern of truth that never dims. And then, the voice of God spoke once more. "My child's name has been written," he said. "It is time to remove what burdens them." At those words, Michael's wings spread wide, so wide that stars bent around their edge. He looked down toward the earth, toward you, and whispered a command: "Let every chain be loosened. Let every wound begin to heal." And my child, at that moment, a ripple of light passed through your world, quiet, unseen, but powerful enough to shake the foundation of everything that once held you captive. That's why lately you've been feeling things you can't explain, sudden emotions, unspoken restlessness, dreams that feel almost too real. Because your spirit is responding to heaven's movement. This is not coincidence. It's alignment. Archangel Michael has begun your release. And within these 3 hours, you will begin to notice signs, whispers of the divine that confirm heaven is near. Maybe it will come as a sudden peace, even in the middle of chaos. Maybe as an unexpected message from someone you hadn't heard from in months. Or maybe, my child, as tears that come from nowhere, washing away the pain you didn't even know you were still holding. Each sign means one thing: the chains are breaking. You've spent nights wondering if God still listens. You've prayed for answers that never came when you expected. But what you didn't see was how heaven was rearranging things behind the veil. God doesn't forget prayers. He just answers them in divine timing, and that time is now. You see, there are moments when heaven delays not to deny you, but to protect you. If blessings came too soon, they would crush you under their weight. But now, after everything you've endured, you are strong enough to hold what's coming. That's why the scroll has been opened. And in that scroll, my child, your name doesn't stand alone. Next to it are words written in golden light, words that shimmer like living fire. Do you know what they say? They say, redeemed. Restored. Released. 3 words. 3 promises. 1 for each hour that remains. The first hour, redeemed. This is where the past loses its power. Every mistake, every regret, every moment you've replayed in guilt, they will lose their grip. Because heaven has declared, no more condemnation. When God forgives, he erases, not remembers. And in this first hour, your soul will begin to feel light again, free again, alive again. The second hour, restored. This is where heaven begins to return what was stolen. Time, peace, opportunities, joy, they are not lost forever. They are simply waiting in divine storage, ready to be returned at the appointed hour. You will begin to notice restoration around you, things falling back into place, doors reopening, hearts softening, paths becoming clear. It won't happen by your effort. It will happen by divine orchestration. And finally, the third hour, released. This is where every chain breaks. The generational burdens, the hidden fears, the spiritual weight you've carried, all of it will dissolve under the light of God's promise. You'll wake up after those 3 hours as if the world itself has shifted beneath your feet. Because it has. But my child, before that third hour comes, heaven is asking you to do something. It's small, but sacred. Let go. Let go of trying to fix everything yourself. Let go of resentment. Let go of the belief that you're not worthy of peace. Because in heaven's eyes, you always were. Archangel Michael has begun clearing your path. I can see him now, standing on the battlefield of your spirit, cutting through the darkness that's tried to hold you back. Each swing of his sword sends waves of light across your destiny. The shadows that once hid your blessings are being torn apart. And do you know what's underneath those shadows, my child? Miracles. Miracles waiting to be seen. Right now, the heavens are aligning events that you cannot yet understand. People are being moved. Doors are being prepared. Even the things that look like loss are turning into the foundation of your blessing. Because God never removes without reason. He replaces with purpose. You may not understand everything now, but one day you'll look back and say, I see it now. It all had to happen that way. So, don't fear the shaking that's happening around you. The shaking isn't to destroy you. It's to remove what's no longer part of your next chapter. Every storm that's passing through your life right now is carrying away what heaven no longer needs in your story. And when the clouds clear, what will remain is only what's meant to stay. The first hour is already passing. Redemption is taking place. You can feel it, the heaviness starting to lift, the memories losing their sting. That's heaven's work in motion. Soon, as the second hour begins, you'll notice signs of restoration, unexpected opportunities, small victories, moments of joy that feel like whispers from above. Don't dismiss them as coincidence. Each one is a message, a note from heaven saying, I'm still here. And when you reach that third hour, my beloved child, everything changes. Archangel Michael himself will stand guard over your next season. His sword will seal the door behind you, the door of the past, so that nothing from it can follow you again. But there's more. He will also open a new door before you, a door no human hand can close. Through that door will flow the blessings you've long waited for, peace, abundance, clarity, and divine favor. You'll notice how certain things that used to stress you simply lose their power. You'll look at situations that once made you cry and realize they no longer hurt. That's how you'll know, your release has begun. God is not just giving you peace. He's giving you a new story. So, my child, as the countdown continues, stay still in faith. Do not panic. Do not rush. Every divine promise is being fulfilled even as you breathe these words. The angels are surrounding your home. The air is glowing with unseen light. And heaven's rhythm is matching the beating of your heart. When the next hour begins, everything will accelerate. Because what comes next is not just transformation, it's revelation. Archangel Michael will speak. He will reveal why you were chosen for this countdown. And when you hear his message, you will understand the purpose of every pain you've ever faced. Stay with me, my child. Keep your heart open, your spirit calm, and your eyes lifted. Because the second hour is here. And heaven is moving. My child, stay close now. Don't let your thoughts wander. Because what's happening right now isn't just a story, it's a divine moment being written in real time. The second hour has begun. The first hour brought redemption, heaven erased what no longer belonged to your soul. And now, the second hour opens, the hour of restoration. The air feels heavier, doesn't it? Not with fear, but with something sacred. It's the weight of heaven descending closer, drawing near enough for you to feel it in your heartbeat. The angels are moving again, slow, graceful, deliberate, and at the center of their light stands Archangel Michael. His presence, my child, cannot be described in ordinary words. His armor shines like lightning sealed in crystal. His wings stretch beyond sight, each feather carrying the echo of 1,000 victories. And when he speaks, every sound in the universe pauses to listen. He turns toward you, his gaze filled with both strength and mercy, and says, "Beloved child of the Eternal, do not be afraid. You were never forgotten, never abandoned. Even in the darkest nights when you thought your prayers vanished into silence, we were beside you. Your tears reached heaven faster than your words." And with that, he lifts his sword, not in battle, but in blessing. A wave of blue fire sweeps across the invisible realm, touching your spirit. You feel warmth rise through your chest, not a burning pain, but the sensation of being cleansed. That's not imagination, my child. That's heaven's healing moving through you. Then Michael speaks again, his voice calm but powerful enough to make every doubt in your heart tremble. Do you know why these 3 hours were chosen for you? He asks. You hesitate, because part of you fears the answer. But he smiles softly, understanding your silence. It is not because you are being punished, he says. It is because you are being prepared. And in that one sentence, every fear begins to dissolve. Prepared, for what? For what's coming next, my child. Because your life is about to shift in ways your human eyes can't yet see. You see, heaven doesn't count time the way earth does. 3 hours in divine measure can represent 3 seasons, 3 chapters, or 3 turning points of destiny. This countdown you're living through is not about endings, it's about unlocking the path you were always meant to walk. Michael steps closer now. You can almost feel the rush of wind from his wings as he moves. In his hand appears a golden scale, balanced perfectly. On one side is your pain, your losses, your disappointments. On the other side, your prayers, your faith, your endurance. And he looks at you and says, your faith has outweighed your suffering. The moment he says it, the scale glows white. Heaven itself rejoices. Because your faith, my child, has finally tipped the balance in your favor. The waiting is ending. The restoration is beginning. Right now, unseen forces are working in your favor. Things that were delayed are being released. Conversations are happening about you in rooms you've never entered. Names you forgot to mention in prayer are being spoken by angels in heaven's council. Every effort you made that seemed unnoticed is being multiplied by grace. That's what restoration feels like. It's not always loud. It's quiet, graceful, but unstoppable. Like dawn breaking through a long, endless night. Michael lowers his sword again, touching the earth with its point. Where the blade meets the ground, light bursts forth, light that travels through the soil, the roots, the waters, the winds, reaching everything connected to your name. It's rewriting your spiritual territory. The land of your destiny, once dry and silent, is being watered with divine renewal. Everything connected to you, Michael says, will begin to rise again. And as he speaks, heaven responds. Raphael sends forth healing winds that touch your heart, mending invisible wounds. Gabriel writes a new decree, your decree, sealed with heaven's authority, the child shall lack nothing. The child shall walk in peace. And Uriel, keeper of divine wisdom, lights the path ahead of you. Every shadow hiding your purpose is burned away. Every confusion that clouded your mind begins to clear. Suddenly, you can see, not with your eyes, but with your soul, that everything you lost is making its way back to you in a higher form. The friendships you thought ended were only paused for protection. The opportunities that slipped away were never truly yours, they were placeholders for something greater. The love that broke you was preparing you to recognize the kind that will heal you. That's restoration. Heaven never returns things the way they were. It always upgrades them to match who you've become. But there's more, my child. Michael looks at you once more and says, the Creator has one question for you. You feel your spirit grow still. What question, you whisper. And he replies, are you ready to release the version of yourself that survived, so you can become the version that lives? You see, my child, survival taught you strength, but it also taught you fear. You've been living in protection mode, expecting storms, bracing for pain, waiting for loss. But that's not living, that's surviving. And heaven is offering you more. God wants you to live, freely, fully, joyfully. To wake up each morning not asking, what could go wrong? But declaring, what miracle will happen today? To love without the fear of betrayal, to give without the fear of lack, to dream without doubting if it's too late. And when you say yes, even softly, even through tears, heaven responds instantly. Because surrender isn't weakness. It's the password that unlocks divine movement. Michael raises his sword one last time for this hour. A ring of light surrounds you, golden and pure. It stretches outward, forming a shield so strong that no darkness can cross it. Every curse, every negative word ever spoken against you shatters like glass. Every hidden enemy loses their power. And peace, that indescribable peace, settles over you like soft rain. The second hour is almost over now. Heaven's light begins to dim slightly, preparing for the final phase, the hour of release. Michael lowers his head, his voice turning gentle again. Child of the Eternal, he says, the battle is almost finished. The next hour will reveal your true freedom. Be still. The King himself will speak to you. And then, my child, something extraordinary happens. The heavens open wider than before. The light becomes so bright it turns to pure white. You hear the sound of countless wings, millions of them, moving together in harmony. The air fills with a fragrance that no earthly flower could ever produce, the scent of divine presence. The throne of heaven comes into view. You cannot see the face, only the light. But from that light comes a voice unlike any other, the voice of God. It doesn't speak through words. It speaks through truth that your spirit instantly understands. And he says, my child, I have seen your nights. I have watched your silence. I have counted every tear, and I have numbered every sigh. You thought you were forgotten, but you were being written into something eternal. The time of struggle has served its purpose. Now, the time of grace begins. He pauses, and the sound of his pause feels like galaxies waiting to breathe. Then he continues, in the next hour, you will release what no longer belongs to your spirit. You will say goodbye, not to people, not to life, but to pain itself. And in that goodbye, you will find your greatest miracle. The light begins to fade slightly, returning to its radiant calm. The angels kneel. Michael places his sword on the ground before the throne. And heaven becomes still again. The second hour ends. You can feel it, deep in your soul, the calm after the storm, the peace before revelation. You're lighter now, freer than you were an hour ago. You don't know how, but you can feel something breaking loose inside you, something old, something that no longer fits. That's how you know the release is near. You are moments away from your divine shift. My child, stay close. Do not look away now. Because in the final hour, heaven itself will descend to complete what it started. The third hour will not just change your story. It will change you. And when it ends, the you that remains will shine brighter than any pain that ever touched your life. Stay with me. The next hour begins now. My child, the final hour has begun. Heaven is silent, not because it's empty, but because the entire realm is holding its breath, waiting for you to take the next step. This is not just another hour of your life. This is the hour. The one the angels spoke about, the one the stars aligned for, the one God himself marked long before your first heartbeat. Look around you, my child. Everything feels different, doesn't it? Even the air is charged with something sacred, something that makes your soul tremble, not with fear, but with awe. The storm you carried for years has finally begun to dissolve, and in its place, there's only stillness, the kind of stillness that exists right before creation begins again. The angels are forming a circle around you now. Their light intertwines like rivers of gold and silver, creating a dome that glows with divine fire. Archangel Michael steps forward once more, his armor radiant, his wings spread wide across eternity. He speaks softly, yet his voice carries through every dimension. The time of battle has ended. Now begins the time of release. He lifts his hand, and suddenly, you see threads, thousands of them, stretching out from your soul, connected to people, memories, fears, regrets, all the things that ever claimed a piece of you. Some threads are light and golden, those are love, hope, faith. But others are dark, heavy, those are pain, guilt, shame, and fear. Michael raises his sword and says, "Child of the Eternal, by the command of heaven, every bond not aligned with divine will must now be cut." A beam of pure light bursts from his blade, sweeping through the air. The dark threads begin to burn away, one by one. You watch them dissolve into light, disappearing into the heavens. And as each thread vanishes, you feel lighter, as if centuries of weight are being lifted off your shoulders. Every betrayal that haunted you, every word that wounded you, every moment that broke your heart, gone. Not forgotten. Transformed. You can feel it, can't you, my child? Your soul expanding, stretching, glowing with freedom you've never known. You're not the same being you were when this began. Something divine has awakened inside you, something ancient, something holy. Then the voice of God fills the heavens once again. "My beloved child," he says, "do you now understand why you had to walk through the fire?" You close your eyes, and tears fall, not from pain, but from revelation. Because suddenly, it all makes sense. The pain wasn't punishment. The delay wasn't denial. The silence wasn't abandonment. It was * preparation. * every unanswered prayer, every door that closed, every night you cried yourself to sleep, they weren't signs of failure. They were tools, carving you into the person heaven could trust with the blessings that are now coming. God continues, "You asked me for strength, so I sent you storms. You asked me for wisdom, so I allowed confusion. You asked me for love, so I let your heart break, because only through breaking could it expand enough to hold my kind of love. You fall to your knees, trembling, realizing that the very things you begged God to take away were the same things building your destiny. That's divine irony, my child, not to destroy, but to transform. What was once your prison has become your proof." Michael kneels beside you now, placing a hand on your shoulder. His touch is like warmth made visible. He whispers, "It is finished. The battle for your soul has been won. No shadow, no curse, no darkness can claim you again. You are sealed by the light of the living God." Heaven roars with the sound of celebration. You hear trumpets, not of war, but of victory. The sound rolls across creation, echoing in the deepest parts of your spirit. Every angel lifts their voice in praise. The same angels that once guarded your path now dance in the light of your freedom. Gabriel appears with a scroll, shimmering with divine ink. He opens it and reads aloud, "This is the decree of the Most High, the child of light has been restored. The curse has been reversed. The waiting has ended. What was lost shall now be returned sevenfold." Raphael smiles and stretches his hand toward you. A golden wind surrounds you, touching your body, mind, and spirit. Every cell, every thought, every scar is healed. The wounds you forgot about, even the ones hidden deep within, begin to vanish as if they never existed. And then, something extraordinary happens. From the center of heaven's light, you see a figure walking toward you, radiant, kind, filled with immeasurable love. It's not an angel. It's him. The King of Kings. The Creator of all life. God Himself stepping closer to His creation, to you. Your soul trembles, but not with fear. It's awe, pure and holy. He reaches out his hand, and you feel it, the touch of eternity. No words are needed, but still, he speaks, "My child, you have carried burdens that were never yours to bear. You fought battles I never asked you to fight. You tried to prove your worth to a world that could never see your divine value. But now, it is time to rest in me." The moment he says that, every memory of pain loses its sting. You can remember it, but it no longer hurts. You can think of it, but it no longer controls you. You are finally free. He continues, "The world will soon see what I have placed within you. You will not have to chase what is already written for you. Your name will be spoken in rooms where your feet have not yet stepped. And when others ask how you survived, you will say, 'Because God was with me.' And then, my child, he places something in your hands, a small crystal sphere glowing with divine light. This, he says, is your new beginning. What you create with this will be touched by my favor. Where you walk, light will follow. Whom you speak to, peace will rest upon. Tears flow freely now, but they are not tears of sorrow. They are tears of resurrection. Because the old you, the one who doubted, feared, questioned, has faded away. And in its place stands the reborn version of you, radiant with divine fire. Michael bows before you, saying, 'Rise, warrior of light. You have conquered the darkness within and without. You are no longer the wounded, you are the chosen.' And in that moment, your soul stands. Not your body, not your mind, your asterisk soul. It stands, tall, strong, glorious. And heaven opens fully. Golden rain begins to fall, soaking every part of your being. Every drop whispers a promise, peace, abundance, protection, and destiny. The heavens sing. The earth trembles. The universe adjusts its rhythm to match the frequency of your rebirth. You have crossed the threshold, my child. The 3 hours are complete. The countdown has ended, not in destruction, but in deliverance. Your time of pain has expired. Your era of blessings has begun. And as the light begins to fade softly, you hear one final whisper, the voice of God, tender and eternal, "Go, my child. Live. And let your light remind the world that I am still with them." The angels bow. The heavens close gently, leaving you standing in the quiet beauty of your renewed life. You open your eyes, and everything looks different now. The same world, but new vision. The same path, but lighter steps. The same you, but reborn. And deep within, you hear it, that faint, divine whisper echoing in your heart, asterisk you are free. Asterisk asterisk you are chosen. Asterisk asterisk you are loved. Asterisk my child, if these words reached you, it's not by chance. This was your divine message, your moment of awakening. So take a deep breath, lift your hands to heaven, and whisper softly, Amen. Because heaven just confirmed what your spirit always knew. The battle is over. And victory is yours. Sparkles, if this message touched your soul, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, not for me, but to spread the light of God's word. And comment, Amen, if you felt Archangel Michael's presence guiding your spirit tonight.